Welcome to the 101st edition of Spooky Reviews from Spooky Ventures. This time around I'm looking at a new Blu-ray release from Screen Team Releasing of the movie 13 Sleighs Till Christmas. It's part of my effort to help put the spooky back into Christmas. I should add that Spooky Ventures is hosting an event this coming Saturday in Rockford, Illinois that's also part of that effort. The event is literally called Put the Spooky Back into Christmas, and it will be held at Veterans Memorial Hall on December 2nd from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. So, on to this movie. This was originally released in 2020, but is just getting this great Blu-ray release now. I think it's a fine example of indie Christmas horror, or as I like to call it, ho-ho horror. This movie is an anthology film. And the thread tying it all together is that a group of men have been told to come to a certain bar on Christmas Eve. They are not sure who sent them the message to get them there or what they are doing there. They do all know one another, though, and in order to kill time, they decide to make their own effort at putting the spooky back into Christmas by telling holiday scary stories. Now, what's particularly intriguing here is that each of these stories is essentially its own film. They have different writers, directors, crew, and cast. That's not an entirely unique concept. It's been done pretty often, but I think it works more seamlessly here than it does on some films. The stories are all creepy, but some have a less serious tone to them. Like any anthology, some stories will impact you more than others will, but I found all of them to be entertaining. One nice thing here is that since there are so many different stories all packed into a movie that's roughly an hour and 45 minutes long, if you aren't completely won over by one or two of them, they don't take up that much of the film's length. Personally, I enjoyed every one of them, just in varying degrees. The connecting piece has an interesting payoff in the end, too. Let's just say that there are hints of something dark connecting the men together throughout the short cuts back to the bar. That does get mostly resolved at the end. That said, I felt that the resolution ties it all up neatly into a holiday gift wrap package, but it left more questions for me. There is a deeper mystery that I'd like to see explored in a prequel movie or something. Let me say that for the most part, the acting in this film is at a higher level than you expect from low-budget indie movies. There were quite a few faces I recognized. Among those were Jen Nangle, Sean C. Phillips, and Julianne Prescott. Sean Burkett, who I interviewed a while ago on this channel, is the director on one of the segments in the movie. One other clever thing I need to mention is that there are a lot of name drops in the movie. Characters who have names that tie into horror film history. I know I caught several while watching, but I probably missed others. For instance, there's an Officer Voorhees, of course a reference to Jason Voorhees. One of the cleverer ones was that one of the characters in one story mentions someone named Bob Clark. Bob Clark was probably best known as the director of movies like Porky's and appropriately A Christmas Story, but he also brought us the magic that is the original Black Christmas. That movie is both one of the earliest slasher films and a very early holiday horror movie. So the nod seems very appropriate. I should add that one of the kills in the movie bears some strong resemblance to one of the most memorable character demises in that film. So I think that that was probably intentional and another nod to Black Christmas. All in all, I found the movie to be very effective and entertaining. It's also very dark and gets particularly gory at times. This includes a number of great making-of featurettes of the various segments. I particularly enjoyed the one with Sean Burkett's section because of my interview with him and how it gave me some extra familiarity. But all of those are definitely worth checking out. This is a very effective movie. Yes, it's indie, but it really does surpass many of the limitations that title suggests very well. I should add that this movie is part of a prize package that MDV Entertainment provided for this Saturday's event. So if you're going to be in Rockford, Illinois this weekend, you can stop by, get registered, and possibly win this movie along with more holiday horror films. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.